What's up, party people? Welcome to episode 5 of the Knick the Hick. I am Eric, also known as the Knick, and as always, I am joined by
Michael Brevard Decker, aka I am the Hick.
And once again, I said this is episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about the continue our QT retrospective with Kill Bill Volume 2, because we did Volume 1 last week. Also, hopefully, if we have enough time, I would like to get into our guilty pleasures movies. And if we don't, I'll just edit all this out.
I did play about close to 3 hours of the BioShock last night.
Also, yes, we were supposed to talk about BioShock, but we're not. But definitely next week. I'm not done with it either, but I'm pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Before I start, I wanted to get all this other shit out of the way. So we have Gamerish is starting a Patreon. All the links are going to be on below in the YouTube, but for anyone listening at Anchor, it is Gamerish under Patreon. I'll probably put the link on the Facebook group.
Is it Gamerish Network or just Gamerish?
I think it's just Gamerish.
Okay.
Definitely put a link on the Facebook. So help us out if you can. You know, we're trying to build a community, and you know, it all starts with you, and it helps with you, and we're definitely going to be giving back to the community once we start getting a foothold on the Patreon group, community, whatever. But the more we get, and the more we'll put it back in. So what else? I also want to say, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and subscribe. Got it. So what else? There's a Facebook group. There's our Discord group, which is connected to our Patreon. Yeah, I just figured get rid of all that now, and then I'll have to worry about it later. So Kill Bill 2. Let's see. So we start off with Chapter 6. It's called Chapter 6, A Massacre at Two Pines. So at the end of the first movie, we find out that the bride's baby is survived.
Yep.
But she doesn't know that. We know that. And so in the beginning of Volume 2, they go back 4 years. We flash back 4 years to basically the scene of the crime, and it's the chapel where the bride is going to get married to this new guy, and then they're doing a rehearsal wedding, which I think in real life that's not really how rehearsals really work, where they're just like, yeah, they're at the what's it called,
the chapel.
The chapel, and they're practicing everything, and that's not usually how it goes. It's in great detail, and they're talking to of course Samuel L. Jackson's in this scene, because he has to shoehorn, shoehorn him in somehow, and then of course the pastor is being a pain in the ass. And the bride is very pregnant, so she decides that she wants to take a little break. And then as she walks outside, there's Bill. And it's a very awkward scene, and she doesn't know how to handle it. And she basically has to tell, I mean, she doesn't really give him great detail why she left, but he's acting as if he's upset, but not angry, which kind of, again, makes it a awkward scene. But at the same time, she doesn't feel like he's being a threat. Well, so then he gets to meet the man that she's marrying, Tommy. She gives him a little brief idea of like what her life is, that she's working at a record store, and Tommy owns a record store. And we don't really know if obviously Tommy must know that's not his kid, but
maybe,
but he seems to be an okay person, or a nice guy. I think he's supposed to be seen as kind of like a dope.
He's fond of music.
Yeah, he's fond of music. He's a bit of a dope. Yep. He's like a nice guy. It's like, you know, the typical Hollywood nice guy is a dope kind of thing.
He's
So,
very like 2000.
because of his hair,
Yeah,
his like frosted hair and his
yeah.
it's
He's
all
like
spiked up.
Limp Bizkit and
Yeah, it is.
fucking Everlap.
Almost.
Not Ever. But who's the other one? Everclear or whoever it was.
He looks like the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
Yes.
So, kind of makes you wonder what his love of music is. Probably just really shitty late '90s alternative
Yes.
bands. So,
The neo
he meets
grunge.
neo grunge. He meets Bill. The bride tells Bill that he's her father, and there's this great moment where he says, "You should give the bride away," and Bill's like, "No."
It's asking
So
a bit much.
yeah, that's the line exactly. So it's an interesting scene because you know what's going to happen, but she doesn't know what's going to happen, and she thinks that Bill is somewhat okay with this situation. And Bill is a weird character because Bill is like a mentor, a lover, but also kind of a father to her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of creepy. But then, everything good. They're like, they have to continue rehearsing, which again, that doesn't happen in real life. And then they all go back and they say that Bill's going to come in and watch the rehearsal. And then we get that shot outside of the chapel. And of course, there are 4 people waiting in front of the chapel. And
So this is the first time we see the gang together, right?
Probably. Now, I just wanted to say, as much as I like this movie, and I'm going to keep saying how much I like this movie, there are some cheesy elements to this. And cheese factor number 1 is when you see the Deadly Viper Assassin Squad, and they're just standing there, okay, outside, and then all of a sudden they get into chill mode, which is just them going like this, and then they just walk to the chapel with the guns up like this. It's like, who the fuck walks with guns like that? Like when you're in the army, they just don't go, okay, ready, men, and then they just start walking like this. So already it's like kind of cheesy, but then you hear the bride scream out, "Bill, no!" and then just gunshot, and that's pretty much
a lot of
a
gunfire.
lot of gunshot. Yeah. Still, it's still fucked up. It's so. How does anyone forgive someone for doing that? Then that's the end of chapter 6, and then there's chapter 7, which is the lonely grave of Paula Schultz.
Hey, you want to start talking about the universe a little bit?
Sure.
Paula Schultz.
Where's she from?
She is the wife of the guy from Django, Schultz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's Schultz's wife.
What state is that supposed to be? Like New Mexico or no?
That was where they were at. Was like, well, I don't know where he buried his wife at. You know what I mean? But they were in the South because
Yeah, I think it's Texas.
He was the fastest gun of the South, right?
Yeah, I think it's Texas. Yeah, interesting. Oh,
and also the Assassin Squad. You brought this up when we were doing Pulp Fiction, and that is the Mia. It resembles
Fox Force 5 or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Foxy 5. Yeah.
I had mentioned this that some of these movies are just movies within the Tarantino universe. For instance, like Kill Bill is a movie that characters from Pulp Fiction would go see. Mm-hmm. So there's been theories that the bride is actually played by Mia.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that she was a wannabe actress, and also like what you just mentioned, that the Fox Force 5 was kind of similar to the Deadly Vipers assassin, which is such a dumb name for a group of assassins. But Deadly Viper.
It's almost kind of like just as dumb as the Foxy Force 5. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you kind of got to wonder like how much of Tarantino is aware of how cheesy some of his lines or some of the things he comes up with, because a lot of these are supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to pay homage to cheese or grindhouse, which is very cheesy. So we see Bud, and so the bride has already killed the ones that we've seen in volume 1. Then she starts looking for Bud, and Bud is Bill's brother. She plans on ambushing Bud, and Bud, we kind of see a little bit of Bud's life.
It is crap.
And how much of a loser he is. And you have to kind of wonder why. Because does he feel bad for what he's done? He just feels like he has nothing else left to lose or nothing else left to gain, you know? He works at a strip club and he's like a janitor. And we see a scene where he's at work and one of the
He's a bouncer.
Is he a bouncer?
Yeah, he's like why he's his boss. First off, that's one of the funniest lines, and I still use that all the time. You're as worthless as an asshole right here. And points to your elbow. It's a beautiful line. But no, his boss is ragging on him for not coming to work on time. And he's like, you're 20 minutes late or whatever. And he's like, there's nobody here. And he was like, so what's your point? Are you saying that you don't do your job because there is no job to do? And he was like, there's no people, I'm a bouncer. There's no people to bounce.
Because then one of the strippers tells him that there's a
Then he said he makes him go home because he took him off the schedule for like the next 4 or 5 days. And he says, I'll call you when I'm ready for you. And before you leave, go talk to probably the best looking stripper in the place.
So she tells him there's shitty water all over the women's bathroom. And so then he ends up having to clear that. So, I mean, Sig Haig is in that scene. We mentioned in the last episode that he plays the bartender.
R.I.P.
You know, R.I.P. So he has a shitty life, no pun intended. And when he gets home to his trailer in the middle of a desert, nowhere, that's when the bride decides she's going to make her kill, I guess.
This whole time, weren't you thinking that she was in the mountains with a sniper rifle?
Yeah, and that probably would have been easier.
Yeah.
But I guess we're supposed to assume that she's the kind of killer that does it close up.
Not a very good assassin the way that she did it.
No. So it's a very slow scene, and it's a very intense scene because it builds up the drama, suspense. That's the word I'm looking for. And so she does it almost like she tries to be like ninja style, where she's like crawling on the side of his what's it called, trailer. And then when she finally makes her move, that's when it turns out that he knew she was there the whole time and shoots her in the chest full of rock salt, and then eventually sedates her in the ass with a needle. Did you always know it was rock salt?
Yeah.
Why rock salt?
Because it's non
lethal.
Yeah, non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
It's a deterrent. It's one hell of a deterrent.
Yeah, really. Well, I mean, should he have just killed her right there? Because that's like Bud is very. There's that line that he has is like, she deserves her revenge.
Yeah.
But then he's like,
but then again, so does she, or so do we. You know, whatever. So he says, you know, we're horrible people, but then again, so is she.
Right. So he could have killed her right there, ended it, but he doesn't. Mm-hmm. And then he takes her to a graveyard, and he buries her alive.
Who is the little guy?
He's just, I mean, never says. In this description, it says his pint-sized friend Ernie. That actor's been in, he was in Sin City, and I think he's been in other things, Tarantino-esque things, you know, things that Tarantino's been connected to. So,
yeah, he's a creepy little shit, isn't he?
He is a creepy little shit, yeah. But it's just like, you know, if Bud wanted to kill her, he could have killed her, but he wants her to suffer. So, he buries her alive. And
gives her a flashlight. I didn't understand that.
Yeah. It's almost like he wants to see her try to escape.
Yeah. That's like a James Bond fucking plot, right? You know what I mean? Like, you've got James Bond. You know, they make this joke in fucking Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like, the villain has you, you're subdued, and I'm going to make this really super intricate way for you to die and give you pieces to make it out of this.
Just in case you can. Like, let's see if you can. I don't know if it's a game. I don't know. It's never really explained why he gives her the flashlight, but yeah. So apparently I got these confused. Like after he buries her alive, that's when he then goes to the strip club to work. So
Yep.
it's almost supposed to be like we see how evil he is, and then we see what shitty his life is. Because I always wondered, like, if these people only knew what he was really like, you know what I mean? Like his life would be different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he just gave up. I mean, he literally he tells Bill that his sword, he sold his sword.
Yeah, his
Hanzo sword, and it just feels like
and he just lies. He just lies. Like, why lie to your brother?
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange character, you know. So that's the end of chapter 7. Because now we go to chapter 8, which is called "The Cruel Tutelage of Pai Mei."
Yep, your boy Gordon's back.
Yep, and she's in the coffin. The bride is in the coffin. And she recounts her first time being told about the great white lotus ninja Pai Mei. So Bill and her are like a campsite, kind of like a campfire kind of thing. And they're basically talking about what she's going to be taught under this man named Pai Mei.
Now,
and
how many years before is this? Do you know?
No.
It didn't say.
No.
But it's incredible that neither one of them have aged.
Yeah.
Since then at all.
Exactly. We don't know how old she's supposed to be at that point, because I think she's supposed to be somewhat young, you know, maybe early 20s.
Yeah.
Because they kind of make it sound like she's young. So the next morning, he comes down from Pai Mei, these long stairs, and he's bruised. Isn't he?
He's fucked up. His face is a mess.
His face is fucked up, and so he said that he kind of had a bit of a argument or a fight with Pai Mei, but that Pai Mei has agreed to train the bride. But then we see her meet the Pai Mei, and Pai Mei is designed to look like, you know, characters from the Hong Kong movies. Yeah.
He is ridiculous.
He is ridiculous. He is probably, without a doubt, one of the best parts of the movie, in my opinion. Yeah. It's entertaining. It's over the top. It's meant to be over the top. And of course, we get that, like, eventually we get that montage, that training montage.
Yeah.
But the whole reason why we're seeing this is because the bride starts to try to punch the coffin. And that's why we see her training montage where he tries to get her to do that, Pai Mei. And of course, the first time she does it, she like breaks her hand. When she breaks her hand, or at least badly bruises her hand, you know, he feeds her a bowl of rice every night, because that's not racist. And she can't hold the chopsticks because of her hand. And so she tries to eat it with just her hand. And he doesn't like that, and it throws the bowl on the floor. What's he say? If you want to eat like a dog,
yeah, you can eat where the dog eats.
Eat where the dog eats. So
you can eat on the floor with the dogs.
And the first time she meets Pai Mei, she shows him what she already knows, which is very little.
So this is really, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is really why she's doing everything with her hands. So she shows him what she already knows.
Right.
And
then he almost breaks her arm.
He almost breaks her arm. He says, now this is my arm. And since it's my arm, I want this arm to be strong.
Right.
So you're going to do this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So she continues to try to break the wood, along with other training montages, because there's a lot of them. And then eventually she does punch through the solid wood. And I mean, again, he's a great. There's a scene where she's fighting with a sword, and he just jumps right on the sword. My favorite part is what he does with his beard.
All the time.
We do that a lot in the house. We just mimic that. So the end of the chapter deals with her breaking out of the coffin with one punch. Well, I did want to say about the coffin scene. So I watched this in the movie theaters, which I saw the first one in the movie theaters as well, but this one I saw twice. And the coffin scene, I'm not afraid of small spaces, claustrophobic. I'm not claustrophobic. But this scene in a darkened theater made me a little claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was filmed so well. And just having this fear of like, you're going to die in there was apparent. But then she manages to punch through. Now let's talk about cheesiness number 2. Her getting out.
She just crawls through dirt, 20, 30 feet of dirt. How deep did they bury that?
Yeah. And that's just not possible. It's one thing to break through the coffin, but now you have to go through the dirt.
And just runs through it.
Yeah. Yeah, just runs through it. And then she comes out. And again, another thing I found cheesy was when there's a scene, within a diner. There's a woman in a diner, like a waitress or something. She sees somebody coming out from the dark, and it's the bride covered in dirt, but it's the way she runs.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
And it's so dusty dirt. It's like,
yes.
It's not like, fucking fill dirt. It's like sand.
It is.
Like dust. It looks like dust.
It does. It does look like dust. And it's like, wouldn't you just like shake it off like a dog at some point and just start taking it off your shoulders? So that's the end of chapter 8. And then we get to chapter 9, which is Ellie and I. And this is one of my favorite parts of the movie. So we see Ellie played by, what's her name? Splash.
Yep.
Crap, I can't remember her name.
Why can't I think of it? You made me forget about it, I feel like.
Daryl Hannah, sorry.
Yep,
Daryl Hannah. We see Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah comes to Bud, who's played by Mr. Blonde. And when this movie came out, Michael Madsen said that everyone comes up to him and talks about Mr. Blonde. He's just all the time. That's what everyone remembers him as, recognizes him as, talks about. And he said that once you see Kill Bill 2, you will stop talking about Mr. Blonde. And it will be all about Bud. Yeah, not really.
No, not really.
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, what, just because you buried her alive and didn't kill her when you have the chance? I mean, Bud is just a weird character. So
it doesn't match that Steelers wheel scene.
No.
You know what I mean?
Because they're both torture, but the torture in Reservoir Dogs is face to face. You're watching. I mean, he has the ear and pretends to be talking in the severed ear. I mean, that's just like fucked up and like mean. But then burying her, you just walk away and forget. You don't actually see the torment in her face. So
did you see Bloodshot?
No.
With Vin Diesel with Dom?
No.
So there's this scene where this guy's doing that. He's coming in, he's dancing all weird to a song. I think it's Steelers Wheel, but he's reenacting the right. Mr. White. So I mean, that scene's so big. It's in other movies too.
Yeah. So we see Ellie come to Bud, and she has a red briefcase full of money, and Bud is essentially killed the bride. So now Ellie is giving them money for it. And Beatrice having a large, I don't know what that means. So the bride comes at the hill, overseeing the camper at the same time Ellie pulls up to it, but she doesn't really do anything. We see Ellie just talk to Bud. So she gives Bud the money, and he makes her like some shitty drink. Yeah, margarita. And he's really relishing in the fact that he has now all this money. Yep. And he opens up the case and he starts looking at the money, and counting the money, and he's all giddy like a child, and he pulls out one wad of cash, and there's a snake. Huh?
One too many.
Yeah, one too many. He's a snake under the money, and it starts, I guess you'd say...
It's a black mamba, right?
Yeah, it's a black mamba, and it just starts attacking him in the face and the neck. And he freaks out, and he's just his face is all, like, parts where he's got bit is already starting to swell up. And he collapses, and money flies everywhere, and shit flies everywhere, and he's basically dying as Ellie starts reciting to him.
Out of her little notepad.
Yeah, out of her little notepad, what a black mamba can do. And oh fuck, I wish I had it on here, but it was like
it's like in the bush you can get something can kill you, and this
an
yada
elephant
yada
can kill you.
Like, but a black mamba is certain.
It's death incarnate. Yeah. And that it will take 10 minutes. And as she's telling him this, he's literally dying. He's like having difficulty breathing because you could hear him having a hard time breathing. And so she's, and then she says to him that the bride is probably one of the best sword fighters she's ever seen. And to be murdered by a bushwhacker like you is just depressing and sad and, pathetic. Yeah. So I guess she felt that he shouldn't have been the one to end the bride's life.
She didn't want anybody to do it.
Except for her.
She wanted to do that fight.
But I mean, the point is, like, to have it anyone but him also, because he's such a loser. So he dies. She starts collecting money. She calls, what's his name? Bill. Yeah. And she tells him that the bride is buried in, what was her name? Paula Schultz. And then she says, Beatrix Kiddo. And we finally hear her bride's full name. And it turns out that Bill had always referred to her as Kiddo, us not knowing that it was her last name. And I didn't want to say this in our last episode of the pod, but what a dumb fucking reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's her fucking, like, I was just reading before we started this that the reason, he wanted to build this, I don't know what the fuck he wanted to build. It was fucking stupid. That we waited 2 movies for him to say Beatrix Kiddo. Like, her name was bleeped out every time. Like, who cares? And then
That's
they show
a stupid name.
It is. And then they show her as a kid in class. Like
Beatrix Kiddo?
Bueller. Yeah. Here, what was that? Like, how long did it take them just to film that for no reason? So then she calls Bill. She tells Bill Bud's dead, and she tells where to find Beatrix. And then she opens up the door, and here come the dirtiest bare feet you've ever seen, and just smack her right in the chest. And
double kick.
I'll tell you this, man. This is my favorite scene out of both movies. And every time it's on TV, I have to watch it because it is my favorite, like, fight scene. So her and what's his name, Beatrix, and they finally get that battle, right? That Ellie wanted.
And they give this trailer hell.
Oh hell! There's a scene where one of them rolls on top of Bud's body, and it obviously just looks like a cushion. Like, it doesn't even look like a real body. But what's it called? Who has the sword? One of them takes. Oh, so Bud had taken Beatrix's sword, so that's the one that Ellie uses.
Yep.
And then Beatrix finds out that Bud did not sell his sword, and she uses Bud's sword. So it's this really great fight scene. And at one point, the bride shoves Ellie's face in the toilet. And we get this.
I thought for a second, I was like, there's a turd in there. Like, they're going to show her looking at a big old log.
I think my wife once said that toilet looks way too clean.
Yeah, for the rest of the trailer.
Yeah, the rest of the trailer. I mean, in the bathroom alone, there's just like porn mags all over the place.
Oh, it's nasty.
So, but you see the inside of the toilet, and Ellie trying to get the what's it called, get it to flush. I I love every minute of that. And then she gets Bud's sword. Oh, there is another cheesy scene. This is just nitpicking on my part, but I don't think what's her name is that great of an actress, Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
She's sometimes it's just spotty. So she is in Bud's bedroom and she's panting and she's like this. She's just like, and then all of a sudden she sees the sword, but there's like no way she would have been able to see it because it was like on this side of her. And she's like, just like looks and it's like, how would you have seen that all the way to the left of you? It doesn't make sense. And just her overacting.
Ninja.
So ninja. She used the force. So she sees the sword. They get that final battle, and the bride is what's it called? Shoeless at this point too. It's kind of funny. And then again, a good part that I like is Ellie mentions that she killed Pai Mei, and she poisoned his fish stew or whatever, his fish or whatever.
Yeah, Beatrix asked Elle, what did you do to get your eye snatched out by Pai Mei?
Yeah, and she called Pai Mei an old fool.
And she said, that will do it.
Yeah, we see that a little bit of him doing that, the aftermath of that. And then she says, I poisoned that old fool's fish. And then we kind of see that a little bit of Pai Mei dying. And she says, I killed your master. And again, almost every Kung Fu movie is always someone killed someone's master.
Yes.
And I just love how Quentin brings that around.
And we also find out that she was, at least to our knowledge, probably Pai Mei's favorite pupil.
Yes. I mean, I mean, you can only imagine. Well, we do see how he treats somebody he doesn't like. He plucks an eye out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now it's become this, you killed my master, which is the basis of every Kung Fu movie. So then they get into it, and it's like sword against sword, and it's supposed to be this epic battle, and then the bride just does it, and she just plucks Ellie's other eye out.
Yeah.
And it's such a great scene.
It is great. And then the squish.
Yeah, she just drops it on the rug and just squish. And that, I mean, she leaves Ellie, what do you call it? Like just roaming around in pain and anger and just like, you bitch, I'll fucking kill you, you bitch. And she leaves her alive, but blind. And
with the black mamba in the house.
With the black mamba. And
my wife and I were saying that the whole time. We're like, what about the fucking snake?
Yeah, yeah.
Why does nobody care about the snake?
Well, but the point is that, so Beatrix walks by the snake, and the snake just stops and whatever, like snarls at her or whatever. Because the point is that even though Beatrix didn't kill her, a part of her still might, because the black mamba represents her. So a representation of her still might kill Elle. But in any regard, I mean, I think that's definitely a fate worse than death. And at one point, she smashes the mirror that's in the bathroom. Fuck, yep. Then you got to worry about that shit too. Yeah. But so she leaves the camper with her screaming, and that is, she takes her sword. She doesn't even take the money. Because that's another thing. Where does she get the money for all this shit? Oh, were you the one that said that she might have had hidden spots of money?
No, I didn't say that. But I know as far as the sword goes, you remember she told Hanzo that she wasn't paying for anything, that she was.
No, but she had to pay for the flight to Japan, and she had to pay for the flight back from Japan.
I don't know. You think she hawked the pussy wagon?
Pussy wagon? Yeah, but I don't think she would have gotten. I mean, how much would she have gotten? Because then in the last chapter, which is called Face to Face, we see her driving what, like a convertible or something.
Well, and she's flown to Japan. She's
Yeah, then she drives down.
She has badass
to
suits.
to Mexico. I think it's to Mexico. So she drives down to Mexico. Yeah.
She's well tailored.
Yeah, she gets her hair done at some point because her
Yeah, the
hair is
bangs.
different. Yeah. So she's getting the money from somewhere. So maybe she did sell the pussy wagon. So then the last chapter begins with her going to a small hut brothel. And then she mentions how Bill had a bunch of father figures, which I guess Jaime was one of them also. And she goes to find a man named Esteban. I'm not saying his last name. Biajo?
Yeah. And we've met him already too, as another character.
Yes. Michael Parks played the Texas Ranger in the first one.
So also, the gang that he runs is a part of the Tarantino universe.
Oh, is it?
His gang.
What's the connection?
It's in, I think, a Grindhouse movie, like a poster or something like that. Like maybe they were in a movie in Grindhouse. And then it was a gang that was mentioned, I think, in Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs, one of the two.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the gang, but they're all like bastard children, basically. Yeah. So, which I guess we kind of get that's what Bill is, or at least he was a orphan or throwaway. Seems like he was a throwaway. So Esteban runs this brothel, and he says at one point that I wouldn't have shot you if I was Bill. I just would have cut your face.
Yeah.
And then we see one of those poor women whose face is cut, which is handiwork. And he eventually tells her where Bill is. And he lives in like some sort of high-end apartment complex. Like you think he would have had like his own mansion, in the hills or something. No, he's just, can you imagine being the neighbor with all the noise that isn't there a lot of noise, like gunfire? No, there's not that much gunfire, but anyway, she goes to the house. She opens the door.
It's the Acuna Boys, by the way.
What is it?
Acuna
Boys. Standing there with a fake gun in her hand is her daughter, Bibi, who pretends to shoot Beatrix. And then Beatrix has to play along and pretend she's dead. Which is kind of cute. I think Bibi's very adorable. They really got a good actress to play this sweet kid that, it's just like all this anger that Beatrix has just is supposed to wash away because this adorable little angel, pretty much. And so then she's, I guess, torn at that point, but she gets to spend a little time with with Bibi, while Bill just runs his mouth for like 40 minutes. And
his Superman quote's cool. I use that one a lot too.
Which one?
That basically every superhero has an alter ego. Their superhero, their hero-ness is their alter ego, and then their true identity is their true identity. But with Superman, he is Superman. His clothes are what, his suit and everything, his cape it's his blanket.
What his mother put in there,
yeah. Yeah, and he just explains that his alter ego is how he looks at us.
Yeah.
Like his regular person, which is everybody else's.
His interpretation. It's his interpretation of how he sees Earthlings. Before that, we get Bill that talks about that Bibi's fish had died and she had squished the fish with her foot, just like her mother did with Ellie's eye. And I guess there's like a conversation about
life and death,
how she thinks life and death. Yeah. So then BB wants to go to sleep with mommy. Watch what is it with one of the is it a Shogun Assassin or something like that?
Seven Samurai or Seven Shoguns or something like that.
There you go. So they watch it while BB falls asleep. It's supposed to be kind of funny. That's what Bill is having her watch as a 4-year-old probably.
Yeah, they're talking about decapitation and shit in the movie.
Yeah. So then she comes out, and that's when Bill does he give that whole Superman spiel first and then shoots her with the I mean, I really
shoots her with the truth dart.
Yeah, with his own
serum
his
or
own
concoction.
special serum, concoction. I remember the first time you talked about that Superman thing, and I just rolled my eyes. It sounded like pure Quentin Tarantino, and I just had trouble seeing someone like Bill be so into, still at that age, having this conversation about the duality of Superman. But the needle gains control. What's it say? So he asks her questions about why she left, and we get a little bit of a flashback to Beatrix's last mission, I guess, or assassination. And it's what you said before, is how she's a terrible assassin. So she's in the hotel room and she sees that she's pregnant, and someone knocks on the door and says that they're hotel management or whatever, or hotel employee. And then she drops the pregnancy test, and good luck she did. It's good luck that she did, because the person ends up being another assassin and tries to shoot through the door with a shotgun. I said, God, you're a fucking terrible assassin if you just believe everyone who knocks on the door saying they're so-and-so, But then they get into a fight, and of course it's another woman, because if it was another man, I don't think they would have been able to let her go after she says that she's pregnant. She doesn't want to. Which is
still ridiculous.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, a killer for hire is still gonna kill.
Well, that's why she's a woman, because she's supposed to be able to relate to her. But so eventually she does, and the woman lets her go, and that's when she decides that she doesn't want to bring a baby into this life. And am I missing anything with that? That's pretty much it with that part. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So then, I guess after that, they decide they're gonna battle one last time.
And once again, they pick a location to go do all this battling. It's supposed to be on the beach, right at fucking sunrise, right?
Right.
And it's supposed to be beautiful and all this and that, but instead of that, they just fucking start fighting.
And even before they fight, she does the 5-point palm exploding heart technique that Pai Mei taught her. And again, this is such a ridiculous kung fu element that they do. And of course, all he has to do is take 5 steps, and then his heart will explode. But
I like in the move how she does the 5 points, but in the middle, she twists
towards
little titty twister, like she's turning on an oven switch or something, it's on, and I said it.
Yeah, is it? Yeah. So then they have a sorrow goodbye, and then he takes his 5 steps into the backyard, and then we see him collapse.
And this is, like I said, this is where we find out that her master, Pai Mei, that she was probably, well, as far as we know, she was his favorite pupil, because he taught no one.
He taught her how to do that, right? He taught no one how to do that. And Bill was kind of impressed, and I guess a little jealous that he taught her how to do that, because obviously he didn't even teach Bill how to do that. So then she gets BB, and then drives away. And they're in a hotel, and she's in the bathroom while BB's sleeping in the bed, and she's crying.
Yep.
Right? Correct?
I think happy. What do you think? I think happy tears.
I think it's a mixture of both. I
Yeah.
think that she still felt for Bill, and obviously Bill felt for her, because Bill is supposed to be like a child, right? I mean, he's a man child, just like
Oh
Quentin
yeah.
Tarantino, just like Tarantino, and he has a selfish moment, and he overreacts, and then he feels bad about it, and so he doesn't expect her to forgive him, but I think they both have conflicting feelings for each other. This love hate. So yeah, I think she's crying because she's happy, she's sad, she's scared because now what's she gonna do? You know, now she's got this 4-year-old kid, and like, how is she even going to explain what happened to dad? You know.
Yep.
Um,
Who's been raising
so
her whole life?
yeah, her whole life. But I mean, luckily, I mean, not luckily, but hopefully, BB will forget him because she's pretty young.
4.
Where,
Right.
yeah, where
It's been 4 years.
she could raise her and kind of really maybe be distant memories of Bill and not remember him that well. But that's it. That's the end of the saga, the 2-part saga that is Kill Bill. So, real quick question: which one of the two? Now, you do consider this one movie, but
Yes.
for just this question, which one do you like better?
2. I like volume 2
Yeah,
better. Yep.
me too. Yeah, I do too. I said that the first one I've appreciated it more over time,
Mhm.
but the second one I felt was better. There's a lot of better scenes. There's more memorable scenes.
There's better actors, like Michael Madsen is in this one, and we do get way more Bill.
Yeah, we get more Bill.
Not just better actors, but I'd say better characters. We get Pai Mei.
Yeah, we get Pai Mei. We get more Ellie.
The people that worked, the one guy that worked with Bud, I thought he was fucking hilarious. The coke-headed fucking strip club manager.
Yeah.
Our owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, just better characters altogether.
Yeah.
More way more character development in this movie.
It's a different movie compared to the first one, because the first one has a lot of just straight up action fight scenes, and the second one is a little bit slower. But like I said, the graveyard scene of her being in the coffin, Pai Mei, her fighting with Ellie. My wife always says that this movie is this one is more of a love story, and it's true, because the bride and Bill definitely do love each other, but they also have a lot of animosity towards each other. So what else? Any other feelings about this?
Nope, this one's right now will put this one above Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Yep.
So you don't you don't have to rank these as 2 movies. As one movie or whatever you want to do.
If we rank it as one movie, then I would definitely put it above Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Well, let's see. As we are now, I think Pulp Fiction's still number 1, but Kill Bill Volume 2 is probably number 2, and then Volume 1 is number 3. Because
then Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown.
Yes, then Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown, because they're fun. They are fun movies, especially the first one. It's fun. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of fucking references and a lot of other actors who've been in other shit, and it's definitely a part of the universe. So yeah, I think we've done pretty well for time.
And then what you also brought up last time is that there was a big gap in between Jackie Brown and Kill Bill. There's a huge gap. So now Tarantino's back and stays relevant pretty much throughout.
Yeah, definitely. I think he definitely made more of a name for himself as a Hollywood director rather than just a independent. Because like Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown it really is a step back, and this is like 2 steps forward, I guess. But yeah, and then he won't do another movie. See, the next see, we should definitely try to finish BioShock because I don't think either one of us wants to see Death Proof.
No, I don't like Death Proof.
It's 3 years. So Kill Bill 1 was 03, Kill Bill 2 was 04, and then Death Proof is 07. And
yeah, him and Rodriguez did a thing, and it stunk.
Yeah. I will say this though, for the next pod, I'm going to watch Death Proof. I don't know if you will.
Yeah, I
but
will.
have you ever seen the trailers that they had?
No.
Oh, the made-up trailers for the Grindhouse movie?
Oh, the ones that are in the movies
Yeah.
for fake movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are very enjoyable. Unfortunately, probably better than the 2 movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're actually got some time. So let me ask you. I wanted to ask you about your favorite guilty pleasure movies, and your answer was
Van Damme.
Van Damme.
So like Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Hard to Kill, Universal Soldier. Those are not good movies, and I love them. I'm also a sucker for some like old school like Will Ferrell movies, like old school, and like Step Brothers and fucking Talladega Nights.
I love Step Brothers. Yeah, the thing with the guilty pleasure though is that some people might consider those movies good movies, but it's all about what you think of those movies and knowing that a guilty pleasure movie is not good, but you like it for whatever reason. I think that if you like a movie based on how it made you feel as a kid or for nostalgia reasons, that may not necessarily be a guilty pleasure, because again, you have to know this is not a great movie, but you enjoy it. What about like some of his other movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, like Double Team? That was just on recently.
With Dennis Rodman?
With Dennis Rodman.
It's horrible. It's a horrible movie.
It was a bad movie. I'm trying to think of some of the other movies he did.
But yeah, I'll watch it. If it's on TV, I will watch it.
Oh, I got one for you. One of my favorite, not really saying much, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies is Time Cop.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Time Cop. The Splits.
I love Time Cop. Yeah, the Splits. I recently watched that with my wife because she had never seen it. And it's not good.
His like jumping roundhouse splits kick that would just be completely ineffective. You know what I mean?
In a fight?
Yeah.
Because they always tried to shoot, like they always tried to work it somehow. Like in Time Cop, it's like there's water on the floor and someone's going to use a taser gun, and then he just does the flip to avoid the electrifying water.
Do you remember when he just got beat up by some dude at a bar?
In a club? No.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, I think it was in New York. He just ran his mouth and just some Joe Schmo just beat the shit out of him in a bar.
And said, "You can't split your way out of this." So I was trying to think of movies. So my wife and I have this running joke. When we were dating before we were married, I had watched this movie on cable. Have you ever heard of the movie Guyver? The Guyver?
Yeah, with the suit.
Yeah. So the second.
I used to love that when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. The second one was on. And the second one's really bad because it doesn't have any of the actors from the first movie, and it's filmed in the woods, because they didn't probably need filming permits to film in the woods.
Do you remember when you were a kid and like it was ABC or maybe all of them, but they all had their Sunday matinees?
Yeah.
And like it was always like a B movie.
Yeah.
But like the Guyver was always on.
Yeah.
It was like always one of those.
But the second one is worse. And so she always teased me about loving the second one. So even if the second one's on, I'll watch it. But I love the first one. And the first one, I don't think is that bad of a movie. I mean, it's cheesy. It's B. It's a B movie. But it's not, like, horrible.
I don't think I've seen the second one.
Yeah, the second one's not that great. Have you?
So what is it? It's like an alien suit, right?
Yeah, it's like this alien thing that attaches itself to him, and he's able to use it as a suit whenever, I guess, in danger.
And it's just rubber. I mean, it's just
it's rubber. Yeah, but the first one had like Mark Hamill in it, and had like a lot of B actors movie in it. Did you ever watch? We've never brought this up in conversation, but did you ever watch The Room?
Yeah. Wait, what's The Room? I thought for some reason I don't know what you're talking about. For some reason I was thinking Four Rooms.
No, it's this really cheesy movie called The Room. It stars, directed, and written by this guy named Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah, I watched the movie about Tommy Wiseau.
The James
with Franco
movie.
Yeah.
If we were living nearby, I would tell you to come over and watch The Room, because you have to watch that movie. That is definitely a guilty pleasure, because it is an awful, awful, awful movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you saw the what's it called, the movie based on it. So you have an idea of what. But
did you watch that TV show Neighbors that he was in?
I saw the trailer for it.
Bad.
And the trailer was cringy.
The show's not bad. He's bad.
Of course he's bad. He thinks he's what's it called, James Dean. That's why he did that famous line in his movie, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," because it's from a James Dean movie. You gotta watch the Room, man. It's like classic trash.
People loved it because it was horrible.
It is. It's funny. It's like unintentionally funny. I mean, people have called it like our generation's Rocky Horror Picture Show because of the way that fans will interact with the movie while they're watching the movie. So it's great. It's such a great movie. Well, it's great for being shitty. I mean, he financed that whole thing himself.
Yeah, and nobody knows where he got the money from. Nobody knows how old he is.
Well, the book, The Disaster Artist, the book that the movie is based on delves a little bit more. So he had like shops in San Francisco, like clothing shops, and they think that might have been where he got some of his money from, and they think he might be from somewhere like Eastern European, behind the what's it called, the Berlin Wall kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
some inheritance.
Maybe inheritance, but we were watching a video and they talked about Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Have you ever seen that?
With the Atom Man or whoever it is.
No? Nuclear Man.
Yeah, it's horrible. The guy that looks like fucking what's his name? That 80s Flash Gordon. Kind of looks like Flash Gordon.
He has like a mullet. He has like a blonde mullet. I love that fucking movie, man. I love that movie.
I like Superman 3, and Superman 3 is not very good.
Yeah, it's not very good, no. They have their version of, I've always said that the villain is Brainiac, basically, but just like a really shitty version of Brainiac.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Richard Pryor never really had a movie that did well.
Yeah.
Because he was
The Toy. I loved The Toy when I was a kid.
I love The Toy too, also. That's a Richard Donner movie also, but I didn't do very well.
No.
With Quest for Peace is that John Cryer's in it, and he plays Lex's annoying nephew.
Yeah, Lou. What's his name? Is it Lou? Something like that.
Something like that. And now he plays stupid. Lex Luthor. He plays Lex Luthor on TV. I was trying to think of some guilty pleasures, but I'll end with one more. So there's this Australian actor. His name was Yahoo Serious. And he did this movie called Young Einstein.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
The electric violin and that shit.
Yeah. He condensed beer, and he made Einstein Australian.
These are like all movies that I loved when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. It's funny. But I always threaten my wife that I'm going to make her watch Young Einstein because it's just awful. It's such an awful movie.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
No. All right, so I think that does it for us. So next week, probably going to do BioShock.
Yeah, I did Man, I did so just where I'm at right now, I got the Flame Fist and the Telekinetic Fist.
Okay.
And it's just, I think if I would have played this game in 2007,
You would have liked it?
with I would have liked it now more than what I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I'm not super into it.
I know. I can
I'm
tell.
not super into it.
I can tell.
It's not. I hate the triangle, the arrow,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
does a shit job of telling you where you need to go.
Oh yeah.
Like I could really
Yeah.
just do
Yeah.
without it,
Yep.
because it will lead you right into a wall, and then when you do actually go where you're supposed to go, it's pointing somewhere completely different. It's a
Yep.
horrible,
It's
horrible
awful.
tool.
Yep.
Um,
But we got to save this for next week,
okay.
though. What? You know what? I'll ask you
I
anyway.
I
What if?
don't
What?
know. I'll keep on powering through it. I don't know if I will roll credits on this one.
Okay.
So I'll probably have to watch some videos or let you tell me everything that happens. You can do a plot
Okay.
of BioShock.
Okay.
But I am gonna keep. I will be playing it this week. Like I told you, I'm
Yeah.
off. I've got a 4-day weekend coming up too.
And what else have you been watching or playing?
Oh yeah. So I watched the first episode of the second season of Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen
Yep.
it yet. How is it?
Oh, it goes on too long for what they're doing. So I'll just.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I'll say. But it's good. Of course it's good. Um, I'm gonna go watch another episode of it. Let me see. Anything else that I watched? Oh, I watched Lord of the Rings. So Bilbo died in real life.
Yes.
The actor Ian. I don't know, but he died. I think his name's Ian.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Ian
Now,
Holm.
now I
Yeah.
feel. No, okay. I was gonna say now I feel really disrespectful.
No, Ian Holm. Yeah.
I really like that actor. So yeah, I've been watching Lord of the Rings. I watched Fellowship today and about halfway through Two Towers. I've been playing a lot of Destiny. Last night I played 2 to 3 hours or so of. I'm probably only about 5 hours, I think, of playing BioShock, and that's just because I don't know where to go and I just run around a lot.
Yep.
I bought Duke Nukem on the Switch not too long ago because the pre-orders were $5.99. They're 50% off, so like now the game's $9.99. But I played that this morning for I don't know, probably 2-3 hours, and it's awesome. It's awesome. It is a better first-person shooter than BioShock.
Duke Nukem. Wait,
Yeah, Duke Nukem.
Which one? The original?
This is the
Which
3D. This is the 3D collection. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Wow.
like the Duke Nukem that was on like 64 and shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. We have to remember that for next week so you can say it again.
Yeah, I will. This is a better as far as just being a first-person shooter, Duke Nukem did it better.
Wow.
Strong words.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to plug our Facebook group, our Gamers Facebook group, because we have been doing a tournament for the best 80s movies.
Yes, I'm not happy with it.
Some of these, dude, have been really close and down to the wire. Let me just say we did a 90s first because most of the people, a good chunk of the people in our group are 90s kids. But, well, they're actually 2000s kids. But
yeah. I'm a 90s kid.
Yeah, I know. But The Matrix being the top movie of the 90s?
In the 90s it was.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't feel like it holds up very well. Plus, the sequels have just murdered it.
No. The third one was pretty good.
Really?
If you watch the CG, if you go back and watch the CGI, the scene where he's fighting the first time that he's fighting all the Smiths or all the Smiths, and he's just like run kicking on them, it looks so bad.
Yes.
It looks so bad. Mm-hmm. It looks like when Harry Potter, like the first couple movies where Harry Potter's flying and falling, it looks like that. It's just so bad. Like, well, that's animation for sure.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I just didn't think. Yeah, at the time, it might have been the movie of the '90s, but we're not in the '90s anymore. So
Let's
I don't
see
know if that was
where.
really
Well, it's not like I've been like, man, I really want to go watch The Matrix.
right. Right. I mean, I thought you would have been hard on for Big Lebowski to win,
Yep.
but it
So
didn't.
let's what? Yeah. What?
No, but it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't even come close.
So yeah, but our group's weird though. How are we in a nerd group and the Breakfast Club is beating Bloodsport?
Because it's a better movie, Michael. It's
No,
a better movie.
it's not. It's not for
It
our.
is.
It's
Are you
it's
serious?
definitely not for our demographic.
Yeah, but we've got a mix of people, which is a good thing. But I mean, the
I'm gonna
Breakfast
look right
Club.
now. Yep, it's 1 point. There is a lot of
Yeah, it's
votes
one
for that
point.
one.
It is.
Still, it's
Uh,
gonna win. Breakfast Club's gonna win. Oh,
yeah,
that's disappointing.
I know.
First round, I put in Bloodsport, and it's gonna go out in the
I
first
know.
round. And that one, if it would have went up against anybody else, maybe not the Predator, but anybody else, or the Goonies, but anybody else.
So wait, this one is pretty close. Not as close as that one, but it's Aliens versus the Goonies, and Aliens is winning 16-14.
I had to go. I think
It's more
I
than that.
did.
It's more than that.
I hit Aliens first, and then I looked at it and I was
19,
like, no, I gotta hit Goonies.
19-17. Yeah, yeah. I saw you hit Goonies, but again, Aliens is just a better movie. It's just a better made movie. What else? Did you see the brackets? Because there's Return of the Jedi is going up against Empire Strikes Back.
That's yeah. We need to look into how. I know it's like
It's all Andre.
automatic. It's he
All
says it's
yeah.
just automatic. He just plugs them
It
in and it
is.
makes a bracket.
And then he's got Full Metal Jacket versus The Shining, which is two
Yep,
Stanley Kubrick movies.
two Kubricks. Might as yeah.
Let's see. My pick was Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that smacked Tron, which was difficult for me because I love both movies. But again, I think Raiders is just a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this one's more exciting. Terminator beat Last Crusade, which, of course. But yeah,
Do you like the Terminator?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, 2 is better.
Two's
Of
a
course.
lot better. Yeah.
But see, that movie should have won the '90s movies.
Yeah. Best special effects and then of the '90s.
Because it still holds up. I feel like the whole thing still holds up. But yeah, this '80s one's going to be good. I wanted to make a joke and say the next tournament we should do is the best movies of the 1940s, but just as a joke, but I don't think it would translate very well. Let's see. I just wanted real quick. I have been playing Last of Us 2 this whole week. I just finished a day or two ago. Yeah. So that was emotionally exhausting.
I bet.
What else? We just watched Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't a fan of the recreating of the scenes from The Shining.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
No.
So, but it's a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
Sort of a sequel to The Shining. It's confusing because The Shining, the book, is different than The Shining, the movie. So they had to make a Dr. Sleep that both made sense for the movie and the book, if that makes sense. So, but they did a lot of recreating of scenes from The Shining. So it was a little weird, but it's long. It was like 2.5 hours long. But it was decent. It wasn't bad. It was better than I thought it would be. So yeah, I say that's it. So next week is BioShock, and
yeah, we'll do BioShock. I promise.
Probably. Then we'd probably have to talk about the next game we're gonna play from that year. Do you want to still play? From
we can
that
do
year?
11. We can do 7. It doesn't matter. We can go that year again. It doesn't. I don't.
Okay.
Whatever.
What else? Am I missing anything? Email us at gamers527@gmail.com. you have any questions or anything that you don't agree with. Don't forget, as I said in the beginning of the pod, our Patreon, this is Gamerish, our Facebook group. You're listening to Anchor. Cool. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment. And I think that's it. Is there anything else before I sign off?
Don't blow your hands off playing with fireworks. And if you still have your hands left after playing with fireworks, please make sure to wash them.
Yes. Okay, well, until next time, I am Eric, and I've been the Nick, and this has been, as always...
I am Michael Brevard-Decker, a.k.a. Captain BD, a.k.a. The Hick. Good night.
Night.